The Huffington Post is being sued for fake news, and one of their reporters, apparently, Mississippi professor who went to Georgetown Prep with Brett Kavanaugh, is suing the Huffington Post because, believe it or not, the Huffington Post does write fake news. And I've got a good example for you after this. So let's dig in. This has to do with the Brett Kavanaugh story. Apparently, all these weird accusations were swirling around. Julie Swetnick claiming there were like gangbang parties and women were being drugged. And that's just insane. But hey, man, you gotta love the media pumping out crazy fake news for the sake of, fighting the orange man, I guess. But let's just dive right into the story. Before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address. But of course, sharing this video is the best thing you can do because YouTube deranks independent political commentary. They much prefer to hear from the likes of Don Lemon. So if you really, really like Don Lemon, then don't share this video. And actually, I'll put it this way. If you don't share this video, I'll just assume you really... I'm kidding. I know most of you probably don't like Don Lemon. I just thought it was funny because I think he's pretty bad at what he does. But all right, jokes aside, let's read the news. Let's get serious. A Mississippi man is suing the Huffington Post on defamation allegations because of an article the news website published last year accusing the man of helping to supply drugs to fellow students at Georgetown Preparatory School, where while U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was a student there. Derek Evans, a professor and community advocate, filed the lawsuit Wednesday in U.S. District Court in Gulfport, Mississippi, against Huffington Post and the author of the article, Ashley Feinberg, the Mississippi Clarion Ledger reported. The lawsuit claims Feinberg and Huffington Post repeatedly defamed Evans and Douglas Kennedy, a classmate of Evans and Kavanaugh, by stating that they helped purchase and supply cocaine at the elite private school. Now, I do wonder, because I don't think they get into this, I wonder if this guy, what is his name, Evans, gave a warning to the Huffington Post, right? And sent them a letter saying, hey, you need to take this down and correct this because I've done that a lot and they ignore you. And, we are in trying times, to say the least. I have to fact check basically every single story I read. It's insane. That's why I am really grateful for NewsGuard, which again is not perfect, but it at least gives me, when I see a story from an outlet and it's not certified, it gives me pause and I dig deeper. I double check. So I do like that. But I gotta say, man, my personal opinion, and I'm gonna do a segment on this for my main channel. I do believe the media just wants to run stories to get Trump. They don't care about telling you the truth. They don't care about letting you decide for yourself. They just want to win. They want to feel that victory at all costs or by any means necessary. They say, the article also stated that drugs may have resulted in the 1984 death of David Kennedy, who was Douglas Kennedy's brother and the son of the late Senator Robert F. Kennedy, according to the Clarion Ledger. The article has since removed any reference to the Kennedy brothers or Evans since it was published in September 2018 in the midst of Kavanaugh's Senate hearing to be confirmed to the Supreme Court. Here's a quote. These statements were not only false and defamatory, but outrageously so, and were published by defendants with knowledge of the actual falsity or in reckless disregard of the truth for the apparent purpose of creating a salacious story designed to drive internet traffic to HuffPost's website, the lawsuit said. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just the confirmation bias in my brain. It's like all the dopamine just got released hearing that, and I talk about this all the time. They're driving traffic. They just want a salacious story. They just want traffic. So they will lie, cheat, and steal. Listen, here's what they do. Did you know that reportedly Hillary Clinton was running a child trafficking ring? Reportedly. That is confirmed. Reportedly by Alex Jones, right? You see the point is, you can say reportedly. It's how they drive traffic. It's what they do. They will say, reportedly, white supremacist. Reported by who? The homeless guy in the alley behind my building? Yeah. And then when you're sued, they'll be like, well, it was reported to us by a homeless guy in an alley behind my building. And they're going to be like, now, obviously, that won't pass a laugh test. A judge will be like, nice try, get out of here. But think about it. You can have someone, like, if I said something, you could claim reportedly X is true. And then say, well, Tim Pool's got a large channel and he reported this. I'm very careful with how I phrase and source things. Whenever I make a claim, I will back it up with a source that is certified by a third-party agency. You know, whenever we see these stories about Trump in Charlottesville, it's like, okay, well, did you do a simple Google search to see what Trump actually said? They don't. They don't. They write these op-eds. They say these horrible, horrible things about the president that are just not true. Why? I think you've got two problems: a lazy and inept news media and people who know they're lying. They know. So when I see this, I'm like, yep, ding, 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 internet traffic. Makes perfect sense. Let's read on. Defendants had no sources to support their outrageously false and defamatory statements about Derek Evans and Douglas Kennedy, nor did defendants make any effort whatsoever to contact Mr. Evans for comment before accusing him of not only committing a crime, but of being responsible for the death of David Kennedy. The lawsuit continued. Indeed, if Ms. Feinberg or her HuffPost editors had done even the most basic research of publicly available sources, she and they would have known, if they did not already know, that Mr. Evans actively assisted law enforcement in identifying and prosecuting the individuals who actually sold the illegal narcotics. The suit is seeking damages against Feinberg and HuffPost, but it does not state a specific amount. It alleges Evans has suffered emotional distress and harm to his reputation. Teenage use of alcohol was a focus of Kavanaugh's Senate confirmation hearing to become a justice on the Supreme Court. It also included testimony from Christine Blasey Ford, who accused Kavanaugh of attempting to assault her at a party during their time in high school, of which she didn't know where it happened, when it happened. She didn't know how she got to the party. She didn't know how she left the party. There was no evidence, and she claimed to be scared of flying, but then admitted to flying frequently. You know what, man? It's fake news. It's fake news all the way. And we are in trying times, I will stress. You know, for those that aren't familiar, this has been this thing going on. I am a sponsor of an event that's taking place in the Philadelphia area because I live here, and it was right by my house. And they pump out lie after lie after lie. If I can't host an event for people to have a conversation about how we end racism, violence, and authoritarianism because they accuse us of being racist, you've got some problems. You've got some problems. You go to them and you say, we want to put an event called Ending Racism. We got a couple controversial speakers, but we got people on the left and we got people on the right. And they say no, because activists said so. Well, then we got a serious, serious problem. They pump out lies. That's what they do. I do not believe, I'll say this. Christine Blasey Ford came out with an accusation. I believe that she remembers something. But all that really matters at the end is there's no proof. I don't even believe there was probable cause for Christine Blasey Ford. Like, you know, can the police actually launch an investigation based off someone saying, hey, this happened 30 years ago? That sounds kind of crazy. They say a HuffPost spokesperson declined to comment on pending litigation. So, you know what, man? I will stress. For all of us who are smeared and slandered and lied about, we have to fight back. And so I will stress. We'll see what happens with this event in the Philly area and them trying to shut us down. Because it's already been announced by one of the organizers in the Philly Inquirer, there's going to be a legal battle. I will not back down. And I will not back down. You want to come at me with lies, slander, and fake news? I will sink every ounce of my resources, of my being, to going after the people who publish fake news to destroy the lives of others for ridiculous political agendas. Check this out. In this story, Proud Boys leader admits their rallies are for fighting and wasting money. Yeah, that's technically true. So I'll just jump straight down and say that Enrique Tarrio said it's like a hidden camera or something. It's a pure optics operation if you're looking for your fourth degree, which is when they fight Antifa or somebody. This is not the event to do it. This is not new. It's not a new information, right? We've known that their goal, and they said it publicly before this, was to go to Portland to draw everybody out and leave. A year or two ago, Mike Cernovich said to me in an interview, we're just coming down to Berkeley so that Antifa comes, acts a fool, and then we leave. And it's for the press. It's not a secret. But they mentioned something about like the Proud Boys released a press statement, I think, a press release. The gathering was never about bringing carnage or violence to the city of Portland. It was about financially crippling the progressive hotbed until they take action against Antifa, the gang said in a press release. So this is what I want to stress about the Huffington Post. They're unwell, okay? Like, what do they say? They said he told his gang members. What do they say? Let me find it. They admitted it was fighting. The Proud Boys for years have helped organize street fights in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, well, when someone comes and fights you, don't be surprised. Now, I'll admit, I think Proud Boys know full well they're going to go on march. Antifa is going to come and fight them. But that's not that's still, it's on the fault of those who initiated the fight. Granted, the Proud Boys did get in trouble in New York City for initiating a fight. Well, there you go. But they say, I want to find well, you know what? You've seen it, right? That's the point I wanted to make. Like, this story from the Huffington Post does not tell you the truth about anything. It rehashes something everybody already knew. It makes it sound more nefarious than it was. He admits their rallies are for fight. Well, what do you mean? In a press statement? In a press release, the Proud Boys said that their intention was to draw out resources. Okay. You see how they frame these things. They say that, they call it a gang over and over again. Here we go. As the rally kicked off, Charlie was caught on video ordering his gang members to forego fighting. His gang members. On this day, nobody would be earning their 4th degree. This is a pure optics operation. Yeah. All right. Well, you get it. The main story is Huffington Post is being sued by this guy for fake news, and you can see how they play this game. The Proud Boys are not a gang. Okay, I guess you can technically get away with saying something like that, but framing is the game they play. They're not telling you the truth. They're not helping you to understand the complexity of the situation. The Proud Boys want to draw out the resources from Portland because Portland won't deal with Antifa. We know that. They've said it a million times. It's not some secret expose. The Proud Boys aren't necessarily a gang. Certainly you could make the argument, but it's disingenuous when trying to explain what's happening, because then you'd say Antifa is a gang. And then people say, but Antifa is decentralized. Listen, there are branded cells of Antifa. It would be like, I'm not going to name actual gangs, okay? I'm from the south side of Chicago. I know my gangs. And guess what? They operate like Antifa. They do. When you meet, I'm going to avoid saying gangs because I do not want to draw the ire of any of these gangs. There are a lot of them. So there's how can I say this without getting myself in trouble in Chicago? On the south side, there's a group and we'll call it X. And there's an X is the back end of their name. They go by Gang X. However, there are different cells that will add an adjective like the Fury X or the Rage X or the Lightning X. They put in a describer in front of it, but the X is their overarching gang, and they do work together when they have bigger operations, but control small territory, just like Antifa does. You see the game they play. I wouldn't call Antifa a gang. That's silly. They are a decentralized militant movement of violent individuals who tend to be communists. There are branded cells. I will describe a branded cell as a militant group of far-left extremists, not a gang. A gang typically refers to something different. But you see how they play this game. I'm not gonna dwell on this. You get the point. So anyway, there it is. Huffington Post is being sued because they're a trash blog who writes fake news. And I'll stress they're certified by NewsGuard. And that's why I use NewsGuard, because I disagree with them. So it's a check on my own bias. Noting that NewsGuard says they do not handle the difference between news and opinion responsibly. Yes, like this article right here. So at least I can appreciate that. Anyway, stick around. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. YouTube.com/Timcast. It is a different channel. And we're going to dive in. We're going to be diving into some of the polls showing that Americans do not trust the media. They believe the media just wants to get Trump. And I agree. Stick around.